2:05 a.m., Neon City downtown sector rain painted the glass towers in streams of electric blue. Inside a half-lit loft, 5 shadows gathered around a floating hologram of shifting code. At the center stood Axel Graves, master of impossible jobs. His eyes glowed with scrolling data. "Tonight," he said, "we rob a vault that doesn't exist." Riva, encryption genius, smirked. "The digital vault. 100 million in crypto, 0 fingerprints." "Exactly," Axel replied. "No doors, no guards, just firewalls." Dex, muscle with a cybernetic arm, flexed his fist. "Someone tries to stop us, I'll unplug them myself." Luna, getaway specialist, checked the clock. Grid's clear for 15 minutes. After that, traffic spikes. Neo, the rookie, swallowed hard. And if something goes wrong, Axel didn't blink. Then you'll learn why no one retires from my line of work. 2:22 a.m. inside the system. The digital vault wasn't a place. It was a moving fortress of encrypted satellites. Axel's fingers blurred across virtual keys. Firewall 1, open. Riva mirrored him, code flowing like rain. Checksum cloned. Neo stared. "It's beautiful." "Don't admire the lock while you're picking it," Axel warned. Suddenly, static rippled through every display. Riva frowned. "We've been pinged." Dex tensed. "Cops. Worse," she said. "A live trace." Axel's jaw tightened. "Someone's inside with us." 2:31 a.m. Breach layer by layer. Blue holographic locks shattered into mist. Then Neo's screen flickered, his own commands duplicating a second later. "Someone's copying me," he gasped. Riva checked the stream. "They cloned your ID." "That's deliberate," Dex growled. "We got a rat." Axel's voice cut like glass. "No rats, just unfinished vetting." His eyes lingered on Neo. "Keep your signal stable. If it drifts, I'll know." 2:42 a.m. Tension thunder rolled outside. Suspicion crackled inside. Luna scanned the exit node. Extraction lines flickering, someone's rerouting. Riva cursed. "They're setting a trace." Dex loaded his pistol. "Tell me who to shoot." "You can't shoot a ghost," Axel snapped. Neo's voice shook. "Maybe we should abort. Stopping means they win." Axel interrupted. "Finish the job, then we burn them out." 2:50 a.m. The drive. Axel pulled a matte black chip etched with a silver serpent. 1-use access key. After tonight, it melts itself. He slotted it in. Data cascaded like lightning. 50% complete, Riva said. But the countercode's rewriting itself. Dex frowned. "Impossible." "It is," she replied, "if someone fed them our blueprint." Axel's eyes went cold. Then the betrayal started before we logged in. A red alert slashed across the displays. Unauthorized access detected. Neo shouted, "They're locking us in." "Cut uplink," Luna cried. Mirrored feed. Riva yelled back. "Then we ride it," Axel said. "If they trace us, we trace them first." 2:58 a.m. Shadow's Dex armed a jammer. "Name the traitor." Axel scanned the code, pupils glowing blue. "Whoever it is, they're one of us." Silence thickened. Neo's voice cracked. "You think it's me?" Axel said nothing. Then red symbols flashed, a message hidden in the stream. "Hello, Axel." Everyone froze. "They know your name," Luna whispered. Axel exhaled. "Then it's personal." He ripped the drive free. Sparks hissed. "Shut it down." We regroup off-grid. As power died, the vault folded into darkness, leaving one final echo across every screen. "You can't steal what I already own." Rain hammered the skyline. Somewhere in the digital abyss, a new player watched and smiled. The safe house was silent to silent. Rain hammered the rusted metal roof like a warning neither of them wanted to hear. Mira paced the narrow hallway, her boots echoing sharply. while Drax sat at the wooden table dismantling the data core they had stolen only an hour earlier. "Tell me again," Mira said, voice low, "why the vault's security grid recognized your biometric signature. You told me you'd never been to Black Ridge facility, yet its system lets you in like an old friend." Drax didn't answer. His jaw tightened. His fingers trembled slightly as he handled the encrypted module. Mira stepped closer, her eyes becoming thin and sharp. "Drax, you need to tell me if you're lying, because the vault system didn't just let you in, it trusted you." Drax finally looked up. "I didn't lie," he muttered. "Not to you. But there are things I don't remember." "Convenient?" Mira snapped. "Amnesia Docent T just make you the key to the most secure vault on the continent." Drax slammed the core onto the table. "And what about you, Mira? You didn't exactly freeze when the inner vault door opened. You moved like you already knew the layout." Mira froze. For a long second, all they did was stare at each other. Realization creeping into the space between them, neither of them had told the full truth. Before Mira could answer, the lights flickered. Static crackled through the safehouse speakers. Then a computerized voice whispered, "Protocol Delta 7 activated." Drax's eyes widened. "That's Black Ridge's emergency trace system." "You triggered it," Mira growled. "No, you did." The windows flashed bright white as scanners swept the area. "We need to move," Mira said, snatching her gun. "The trace team will be here in minutes." Drax grabbed the core. "This thing is pinging our location. I need to shut it down." Mira hesitated, then grabbed his wrist. No time. But Drax didn't listen. He tore open the data core casing, revealing a hidden microbeacon pulsing red. "That wasn't in the schematics," Drax said. "Someone planted this." Mira's face darkened. "The Contractor?" They exchanged a look, a mix of anger and fear. "She set us up," Mira said. "Both of us, the vault access, our identities, everything." "That means she knows we survived," Drax said. The trace system alarm outside began rising, a distant siren growing closer. Mira checked her pistol. "We split." "Reconnect at point zero." "No," Drax snapped. "Last time we split, half the team died. Last time we split, you didn't remember who you were." Mira shot back. Drax grabbed her shoulder. "We face this together. If we run separate, she'll take us out one by one." Mira stared at him, really stared. For a moment, the mask she always wore cracked, revealing fear she never admitted. Finally, she exhaled. Together then, they burst through the back door into the rain-soaked alley. Search drones swept the sky, red lights scanning the rooftops. Drax tossed the data core to Mira. "Keep it dry." She shoved it into her jacket, then pointed ahead, through the drainage tunnel. "It'll lead us to the lower district." They sprinted, water splashing beneath their feet. Drax slid down the concrete slope into the tunnel. Mira followed, but halfway down, a sniper round shattered the concrete beside her head. "Move!" Drax yelled. Another shot rang. Mira dove into the tunnel as bullets sparked like fireworks. They navigated the darkness, breaths ragged, until they reached a rusted maintenance hatch. Mira kicked it open, revealing an abandoned train platform. "We're clear," she whispered. But then the data core in her jacket vibrated softly, ominously. Drax frowned. "Why is it doing that?" Mira pulled it out slowly. The red light was no longer blinking. It was solid. Drax swallowed. "That means someone just activated remote access." Mira stared at him, cold dread filling her chest. "Drax, what did you forget?" He looked down at his handscarred, shaking, and whispered, I think I built this thing." The abandoned station hummed with broken electricity, the lights flickering like they were breathing their final breaths. Mira kept her finger tight on the trigger as she scanned the shadows. Drax stood beside her, staring at the data core glowing in her hand. "That light," Mira muttered, It only glows solid when someone has access to its architect-level commands. You want to explain how it reacted to you? Drax shook his head, eyes unfocused. I don't know. I keep seeing pieces, metal, wires, a workstation, but nothing clear. Mira stepped closer. Drax, look at me. Did the contractor wipe your memory? He swallowed. If she did, I don't know what she took. Before Mira could speak again, a sharp metallic clang echoed from the tunnel behind them. Mira raised her gun. Trace team. They're close. They moved quickly, jumping down from the platform into a maintenance corridor. The air was thick with dust and old metal. Pipes rattled overhead as they sprinted to an auxiliary passage. Drax's breathing grew uneven. Mira? Back in the vault, I didn't feel fear. It felt like routine, like I'd walked those halls before. That's because you did, Mira said, without looking back. Drax stumbled. You think I designed the vault? No, she said. I think you designed whatever was inside it. Silence followed. They reached a locked service room. Mira kicked it open, and they slipped inside. She shoved a metal cabinet against the door while Drax collapsed at a control desk. He touched the core again, and the light pulsed like it was recognizing him, like it was waiting. Mira crossed her arms. Start talking. Drax exhaled shakily. I remember. A project. System that predicted riots, crimes, political moves. An AI that could rewrite outcomes before they happened. Mira stiffened. A predictive override unit. Yeah, Drax nodded slowly. Something that could guide society by force. At least, that's what the team said, and the contractor wanted it. Drax rubbed his temples, or she already had part of it. Maybe I was the last piece she needed. Mira stared at him, realization hitting hard. You weren't hired for your skills. You were hired because you're the only one who can unlock the final layer. Drax looked horrified. But I don't even remember building it. Lightning flashed through the broken ceiling grid as something struck the hallway outside. Boom! Another impact rattled the door. Drax panicked. They're breaching. Mira grabbed the core. How do we disable remote access? I can try, Drax said. But Mira, if I do this wrong, it wipes the entire system permanently. Good, she said. I don't want anyone controlling the future. He began typing. His fingers moved too fast for someone with lost memories. Mira noticed. Drax, how are you typing like that? He shook his head. Muscle memory, maybe? I don't know. No one learns neural system coding by muscle memory. Drax froze, terrified of his own hands. The door cracked inward. Screams and boots echoed outside. Mira Drax shouted. I need 30 seconds. You get 10. She fired through the opening as a gloved hand reached inside. The operative fell back. Mira kicked the door shut again. Drax yelled, I'm in the system. I'm triggering a ghost override. The core flashed blue. Then white, then red. Come on, Drax whispered. Come on. The door exploded open, metal shrapnel flying. Mira dove behind a shelf as 3 armored operatives stormed in with rifles raised. Drax shielded the core with his body. Kyra popped up and fired twice, dropping one. A second lunged forward and slammed her into the wall. Her gun skidded across the floor. The third aimed at Drax, but the core suddenly spoke. Authorization mismatch. Architect not recognized. Everything stopped. Mira stared at Drax. You're not the architect. Drax's face drained of color. Then who the hell am I? The operatives rushed again. Mira grabbed her gun. Drax grabbed the core. The truth was out, and it was worse than either of them imagined. The room shook as Mira fired again, dropping the second operative just before he reached Drax. The third charged with a stun baton, swinging wildly. Mira ducked under the strike, swept his legs, and slammed him unconscious against the floor. Silence fell, but only for a moment. Drax stood frozen, staring at the core's glowing warning. Authorization mismatch. Architect not recognized. Mira wiped blood from her lip and pointed her gun at the doorway. "We need answers, Drax. Right now, I'm trying," he said, voice trembling. "But nothing makes sense. If I'm not the architect, then why does the system respond to me at all?" Mira stepped closer. "Because it recognizes part of you, not all." "That means someone rebuilt your identity." Drax swallowed. "You think she cloned me?" "No. Cloning is messy, unstable. Memory patterning is cleaner. They took someone real, scraped their mind, and printed a new one on top." Drax staggered back, horrified. "So I'm fake." Mira held his gaze. "Not fake. Modified." Before he could reply, the speaker system crackled. A woman's voice, smooth, cold, and unmistakable. "Hello, Mira. Hello, prototype." Drax froze. Mira clenched her jaw. "Contractor." Her voice echoed through the busted screens. "You too have caused me a very expensive delay. But don't worry, I only need the prototype alive." Mira, however, the screens all went black. Then a countdown appeared. 0 hours, 2 minutes, and 0 seconds. Facility purged. Drax's eyes widened. "She's going to flood the whole tunnel system with halon." Mira grabbed the core and shoved it into his hands. "Then we move." They sprinted out of the control room. The station was shaking violently now, steam pipes bursting overhead. Lights flickered red as the countdown ticked lower. "Why did she call me prototype?" Drax shouted while they ran. "Because you're not the architect," Mira said bitterly. "You're the test model. The field version. The one built to obey." Drax looked shattered. "Then the real architect is still alive," Mira finished. And working for her, they reached a service lift. Mira pried it open and shoved him inside. Sparks rained down as the ancient machinery groaned. "Top level," she ordered. The lift jolted upward. Drax pressed his hands against the cage wall, trembling. "If I'm just a copy, what happens when she finds the real me, or the original me?" "You're not a copy," Mira said. "You care, you hesitate, you fight back. That's humanity, something she can't print." The lift burst open into a narrow track tunnel. The purge alarm blared louder. Now 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 27 seconds. There, Mira pointed to a sealed maintenance exit at the far end. They sprinted. Behind them, pressure valves erupted, filling the tunnel with choking white vapor. Drax coughed violently. "We won't make it." "Yes, we will." Mira yelled, dragging him. They slammed into the exit hatch. Mira spun the locking wheel, muscles straining. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 9 seconds. The hatch loosened. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 5 seconds. Mira shoved Drax through the opening. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 3 seconds. And dove after him as the tunnel behind them exploded with a thunderous blast of halon gas. They tumbled into a drainage culvert outside the facility. Rain poured down from the broken ceiling above, clearing the smoke from their lungs. Mira clutched the core to her chest. Drax lay on the ground, breathing hard. We're alive." Mira looked at him. For now, he sat up slowly. His voice was small. "What do we do? If there's a real architect, and I'm just the prototype." Mira stared at the core still, pulsing red. "We find them," she said. "And we end the contractor before she can bring her system online." Drax nodded, a new fire in his eyes. "And if I'm not the original? I want to know what I was meant to be." Mira stood, offering her hand. "Then let's rewrite the code of your life ourselves." Drax took her hand. Above them, far in the distance, a drone clicked to life, its red eye watching them escape. The chase wasn't over. It had only begun.